What's up, everyone? It's not a good day to be an Indian cricket fan. We have come here for a rant session, I would say, or a quick review of what happened in that match, like the kind of mess that India put up. So I have Keval here with me, who's my longtime friend, big cricket fan, follows the team, has been following the team from a long time too. So I think we'll just get straight into it, right, Keval? So, firstly,
Yeah,
thoughts on the
we
match.
can.
I think every one of us is disappointed. Not the best showing, obviously, playing in a final and then coming up short by a long margin. Just disappointing for the fans.
Coming up short by our long margin. That summarizes everything, I would say. I mean, uh, I still, as I told you, I was when we were discussing earlier. I still think we lost the match at the toss itself. This was
Hmm.
not a bad first pitch.
Hmm.
I still believe that, and I'm not saying that the pitch wasn't that bad, but it would
Hmm.
have been much better for any team to have chased the total over,
Hmm.
except for maybe the first 10 odd overs when the ball would have swung, uh, which
Hmm.
happened actually. There was no spin at all.
Yeah.
Maybe there was some spin. Jadeja
Hmm.
got a couple of overs of good spin. Kuldeep got it as well. But once the dew kicked in, like around 7:30 odd or so,
Yeah.
it was done. It was done after that. With the low total, it was obviously done. That is
Yeah.
why we needed this was like when you are batting first, and I would also like to say that we intended to bat first anyway, even if we won the
That's
toss.
what Rohit said. That's what Rohit
Yeah,
said, right? He decided that. I mean, when Ravi Shastri asked him what was he going to do, he said bat first, which was very surprising to me considering the nature of that pitch.
and I don't want to rant much about the team as such. Most of my rant is around BCCI.
Hmm.
Why have a
Yeah.
used pitch for the fight? Why
Hmm.
go for such type of pitches where we obviously know that there was going to be a visible disadvantage to the side batting first,
Yeah.
irrespective of like uh, obviously we needed a 300 plus 300 350 plus total,
Yeah.
which did not look possible because the bowling was on point, and once we lost the wickets, I am particularly disappointed with KL Rahul today. Like he completely just blocked out everything. He
Hmm.
wasn't taking the singles. Credit to Australian fielding there. They were stopping singles as well. And that is the Australian team we always know. Whether it's 2003, I mean, since I have been able enough to follow cricket,
Yeah.
2003, 2007, 2015, 2019 as well. They were a good side in 2019, even though they did not make it far enough, but they were a good side in 2019 as well. They were a very
Yeah.
good side in 2011 as well, even though they lost in quarterfinals to India. But they in the same ground, the older version of the same ground,
Correct.
Motera, they lost in 2011. So it they always manage to have that good side, and they have a very good generational turnover,
Yeah.
irrespective of like you always know that Australia in a knockout game, पहले तो यही सुन के every opponent team gets into a shell.
Yeah.
It's Australia in a knockout game, and we went into a shell, and that is why I still believe that like, Rohit's innings was very important. He maybe got out. I think he
Always.
got out to a reckless shot. I think in the finals at least, he could have been a little bit more careful.
Yeah.
I was okay with him getting out to these shots throughout the league stages as well because it was ultimately helping us for a greater start. But okay, like maybe and I'm not saying that the ball wasn't like it was a bad ball. It was meant to be hit. It's
Hmm.
just that he mistimed it and he got caught. And Travis had took a very good catch. Running
Yeah.
backwards, he took a very good catch, and that catch I would say swung the momentum towards Australia because Australia
Yeah.
was nowhere till then. Because after Gill got out, Rohit was attacking. Kohli, on the other hand, was also attacking. Both were playing at a strike rate of over 100.
Correct.
Rohit was
Correct.
almost 150 strike rate. Kohli was also mo- around a
Over
runner boy,
100
I would say.
initially. When he got those three fours of Mitchell Starks over, I think things were still under control at that time. Rohit
I
was on
still,
one and
I think,
hitting,
I think with Rohit's wicket, we lost the momentum. Completely lost the momentum. Kohli
which is
also
very,
decided.
which is very weird, right? Okay, I agree with some aspects, and people have been complaining about the pitch. Maybe some people are actually going to the lens of saying the curator might lose his job after today, which is fine. But India also played some reckless shots in a finals game where they could have been a little more cautious, especially Rohit, Shubman Gill with that very uncharacteristic pull shot, which was not even like it was barely a short ball, and he just it kind of stuck on him, and then he tried to try to hit a pull, and very not a good cricketing shot. And then when it came to Shreyas Iyer, I mean, just like he just went for a ball he could have probably left, and then on and on and on the wickets just kept going on. There was no, like, that one standout partnership which helped the team stabilize, and that was the concern going into this game, right? What if if Rohit gets out, will there be a stabilizing factor apart from Kohli? Because the middle order has, I mean, India have been putting up big scores, but that's mainly because Kohli, Rohit, and say one of Shreyas, Rahul have fired. But on the day when both of them have not fired, and then Surya Kumar Yadav, who's kind of just making up the numbers at this point, also doesn't fire, you are definitely going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, we and this was expected, and that is the risk we took by playing six batsmen, one all rounder, and four proper bowlers. Uh, we took that risk. We had to take that risk after Hardik's injury. That we had to come up with this type of a lineup. We could not have an extra all rounder in who could
Yeah.
back up with the bowling. We had to use this as a lineup. Unfortunately, we had to, and we don't have. We I can clearly say we don't have batting after Jadeja at all. We don't have none of
Yeah.
our bowlers can bat. Shami and all they are like one time chal gaya to chal gaya type of
Oh,
people,
yeah, yeah,
but
definitely.
they are not going to. But that's the thing you see with Australia. Stark, Hazelwood, Zampa, those guys can bat as well. So
Yeah, they go deep, man. And when it came to
they,
scoring, in those middle overs, we never really got going. I mean, there were very few boundaries, just a lot of too many dot balls, nobody taking risks. So it became very predictable, and Australia was just at the comfort zone at that time. They were just bowling to their lens and spinners doing their job. Like, yeah, I mean 240, when they reached 240, it's like it was kind of a miracle because at one point I mean, things were looking very bleak. I mean, 200 also was probably not on the cards, and some of the tail enders stuck in, got in a few more runs. But I think both of us, spoke at that time, and then we, it's kind of we always had that thing, right? If anything less than 300, 320 is not a fighting total, and when you give a team like Australia that much of confidence, that that they were able to keep you, or just hold you, or give you a target if it's 240, it was going to be a long and uphill battle for the Indian bowling attack. And then once the Indian bowling started, obviously we got the runs were flowing. Initially Shami could not keep to his lengths because he was obviously bowling with a new ball. He had not been doing that in this tournament. It was Siraj, but today Shami, based on the number of runs he scored, caught the new ball. They were off to a flyer, and then things started looking bleak again. But we got three quick wickets. Obviously, the Steve Smith one, if he had reviewed it, he could have stayed on longer. But yeah, what did you think after that? Did you think we still had a chance, or was it just like
no, not
a
at all.
false
Not
notion that we had?
after the first 10 overs, we didn't have a chance at all. I mean, like,
Hmm.
okay, we would have had a chance if the batsman decided that okay, we are going to hit reckless shots and try to hit it out of the park. But the target wasn't as such that they had to hit it out of the park. They
Yeah,
had to increase the run rate. So we would have had. That's the thing. Like, if we had that type of a target, wherein like if the run rate would have required run rate would have been 8 and over, 7.5, 8 and over type of a required run rate, the batsman would have been forced to hit. They would have been forced to attack, and that would have been the chances of getting wickets. Just see how they played the spinners.
Yeah.
Calculated shots were used, like, and the best part I would say about this Australian innings, this is something I would say like we completely failed to do in the middle overs. Just check from 21st to 40th over. I don't think we have scored around even 80 runs. We have scored less than 80 runs
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
spell.
I don't understand what we were doing. We didn't require that much of stabilization. I think one of them should have just
And
gone after the bowlers, taken a
no,
risk.
if you notice one thing, just if you want to go through it again, if you want to go through the pain again, just watch those overs from 21st to 40. Just look at two positions in the field, just around the cover area and around the mid wicket to square leg area. Look at the way they were attacking the ball.
Yeah.
Look at the way they were attacking the ball. We don't want to give you singles. If you're hitting with soft hands, we don't want to give you singles here. We'll attack the ball.
You-
We'll make sure that you stay in your crease.
You're talking about the Australian fielding, right? Putting pressure on us
Yes, the
and then
Australian
not
infield.
giving away easy
And
fours. They have been,
look at the same spell here in India for the second innings. You didn't see any single fielder from our team attacking the ball.
yeah,
It was a repeat of 2003 finals. I'm just going to say it was a repeat of 2003 finals. We were just as weak. We were just as timid in the field, in the with the bat.
yeah.
We were timid. We were
KL
weak.
Rahul had so many mistakes at the in the wicket keeping department today. I mean, just so too many
I
extras
am not.
initially. Obviously,
I'm not going to
Shami didn't help with
blame.
those initial deliveries, but yeah,
I'm not going to blame him for that. This was a slow, which was slow. There was
yeah,
variable bounce. So yes, it would take. And KL is not a regular keeper, so
yeah,
like it would take some time to adjust his mark accordingly. And that is like okay, you are bound to have, but yes, that is like you know, a Rishabh Pant here would have made a lot of difference, but
mm,
unfortunately, like that,
yeah,
it's not with us, it's not in our hands now with that. Like things there were things beyond our control with Rishabh Pant, I would say, but
yeah,
like that's the thing. So it would take time for keepers. It normally takes time for keepers, couple of overs for the keepers to adjust. But after that, we didn't see such type of errors coming in. So it takes some
yeah,
time to adjust the mark to decide whether if they want to be how many meters or how many footsteps they want to be back from the crease itself. So it takes a couple of overs, but uh, I mean, I think I'm more. I don't have much issues with the keeping. I would say extras, yes. For wides, I still have issues. Wides, obviously, you should not be conceding, but I have more issues with his batting today. Uh, I mean, that
yeah.
was not. Uh, he was just not able to rotate the strike
I think he
consistently, I
had
would say.
he had got off slowly against what New Zealand also I remember, but then obviously the pitch was in a much better shape there, and then he could get going.
But
But
New
today
Zealand
he,
was a Wankhede pitch. It was
yeah,
going to bounce. It would have a
exactly.
consistent bounce.
This is what I
This
thought
was
would
a
happen today as well, but he just didn't do anything, on that pitch. Like you know he had to do much more, but yeah. But what do you think
this
of
was
Travis Head, man? Travis Head, the way he controlled the innings from the start. Do you think that in hindsight, when you look at it, Rohit Sharma could have also done something like that? Because Travis
I
Head and
think
Rohit Sharma are kind of similar
that
players.
was Rohit's intent. That was Rohit's intent anyway. But like Travis Head and like others as well. Like I think I like Travis Head more as a bowler today. Uh, I mean, if you look at, I think three of them bowled 10 overs.
Yeah.
Head, Maxwell, and who was the third one? I forgot. Three of them bowled 10 overs.
Mm-hmm.
They conceded 40 runs, and they picked up a wicket as well. So
Yeah.
they even after going with five proper bowlers, We were not able to bowl that well. Uh, and yes, as I'm reading a chat here, that obviously I am not going to blame the team. I would say I'm not going to pick up any player and say that okay, it was this player's fault or that player's fault exclusively. I would say no, that's not the case for today. I think the setup around this team needs to improve a lot. We still need that mentality, the knockout playing mentality here. I when I was watching this game, I remembered the game we lost against England in the World T20.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
it was the
Exactly.
same weak, timid mentality that this team has shown. Uh, yeah,
But why do you think that is
I'm not.
happening? Like, what is the reason? Because we won so many, we won like 10 games in a row. We played well. So do you think that it's just like a mentality issue, or do you think that this team needs some replacements going forward in the 50-over format? Like maybe
I'm not. I don't think we need any
Surya
except
Sky
for
needs
I
to be
would say
dropped or something.
except for maybe I would say Sky, but I think Sky has only come in because like uh,
Pandya.
Pandya's injury. I think Hardik would have been there anyway. But I think instead of Sky, maybe we could have tried with Ishan Kishan. It's just coming out of hindsight, I would say. Uh, if Sky would have worked out fine, uh,
Yeah.
Sky would have worked out fine if it would have scored runs. I would not be saying that. But yes, maybe we should have tried uh, Ishan Kishan maybe at number six. And yes, we don't have the mentality to play. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing that distinguishes Australian cricket from our
Yeah.
cricket. Those guys are mentality monsters. They,
Mm.
if they have decided they want to slaughter you tonight, they are going to slaughter you from ball one to ball 600. They are going to
I,
slaughter you each and every ball.
it's so funny, right? All of us were talking about, oh, we are planning to take revenge for 2003. I mean, Australia took revenge for like losing the first game of the tournament. That was like quick. They didn't have
No,
to
I
wait
think
20 years
this
to
was a
take.
repeat. I am going to say this was a repeat of 2003.
It
This
was, it
was a
was like it
repeat of
was a repeat, but obviously the roles were reversed. They thrashed us while batting second, and then they thrashed us while batting first, and one of the players got 100 again.
and
So
I
that,
always have a fear of long partnerships against Indian bowling in knockout games. मुझे अलग
yeah,
डर लगता है उससे.
I think
Whenever
we got
a long
it.
partnership happens,
Hmm.
मुझे डर लगता है because the moment we just let off the grip a bit, uh, the moment we just let off the grip a bit, we don't pick up wickets on a consistent basis. A long partnership builds up, and it ultimately dooms us. Fortunately, against New Zealand, it didn't cost us, and the reason being that we had a big total.
Mm-hmm.
But for totals,
Yeah.
I would say I think I read on the chat that 50 runs would have been enough. I don't think so. 50 would have been enough as well because Australia would have adapted their
It
game
looked
accordingly.
like that. I mean, the way Head was playing, I think 300 would have also not been enough. Maybe it could have put them
300.
under a little more pressure in terms of, okay, they will probably have to attack more. And obviously, 240 made Manas Labuschagn's job very easy, right? You know, he was playing a test match. So if he
Uh,
had 320 on
to
the board, he wouldn't be playing a test
3
match.
I told you in the morning 359. That was a power score for me. I know the pitch wasn't for a 359. I don't think the pitch was a 359
Pitch
pitch,
was
but
not there. Yeah, that's true.
we needed that type of a score. 320 maybe would have been a par, I would say, in this type of a pitch. Uh, because like you're starting at six and a half runs per over, and the run rate would have climbed in. Uh, Even with the due and everything, it would have been difficult. It would have still been a little bit difficult to score 6 7 runs and over. So they could not afford a couple of calm overs. Currently, they could afford a couple of calm overs, just have maybe 3 4 run overs as well, because they knew that sorry, ultimately they were not going to chase at more than 4 and over or 5 and over, because they also got a good start like us. They got a very good start as well. So they were never the run rate was never ever going to be a barrier for them. And
Yeah,
whenever
exactly.
we whenever a chase is to be planned, especially in a knockout game, you have to be around that asking rate. If you're not around that asking rate as such, uh, you aren't you. I mean, uh, you'll lose the game anyway. So I I'm not going to blame the team or individuals for today. I think there is some fault in the back end as such, that maybe the mental conditioning of the players towards the knockout games isn't correct. We were seeing an aggressive team. We are seeing that the bowling was aggressive, the batting was aggressive. Uh,
Yeah,
Today, after I would say the first 10 overs or so, it was timid. Bowling same after the first 10 overs, maybe because
I
we
think
got some assistance.
they just lost
With
that
this,
confidence, right? When Head started attacking their bowlers, it's like they didn't have a plan B. They were just trying out different things. None of them worked. And then ultimately they just like, okay, this is it. This is going to be our Antim Sanskar. I mean, Head is going to like kill us, and then we're just going to try out different options, and that's it. We're going to surrender. So, and obviously, as the pitch went on longer into the game, it became favorable for batters too. So, 240 was going to be chased easily as well. And then once you had Siraj bowling with the old ball, I mean, he's generally not an old ball bowler. So, he was hitting, I mean, my friend Harjot here, he has went the same thing. Siraj didn't have a good World Cup. And
Siraj,
he's like
I
the number two bowler in the world. So, how do you like define like as for a bowler like Siraj, like his confidence would be like shattered with this kind of performance. So it's going to be difficult when it comes to playing T20 World Cup with these same bowlers, right? When teams have kind of will start figuring them out. Like Australia now has kind of figured the Indian bowling attack, so that might be a trend in the next year before T20 World Cup.
look, I don't think this bowling lineup is. I think maybe except for Siraj, I don't think Bumrah and Shami are going to the T20 World Cup. I don't think so. Uh, I think Arshdeep may come in. I think maybe someone else will come in. Arshdeep may come in. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and because I am not sure if this bowling lineup will continue in the T20 World Cup. I am not sure about it. I hope it
Hmm.
does because uh, and Siraj Howler, yes. Uh, Howler, I am not going to use that. I think that's a little bit extreme. I would say he
Hmm.
was highly inconsistent. Uh,
Yeah.
we have seen matches where Siraj would start leaking runs at the start of the innings. He would start leaking runs a lot, and then suddenly in the middle overs, I think against Pakistan, if I remember, he leaked a lot of runs in the start, and then he started that comeback in the middle overs. So it's his bowling has been quite inconsistent.
Yeah.
Uh, Howler, I'm not sure if I would use that extreme term, but yeah. Uh,
Okay. Okay. I
Gill,
think
Rahul, Shreyas,
yeah. I think
Ishan, Kohli,
if
Bumrah
we
are going to
talk
survive.
about, obviously, I mean, congratulations, Australia. They were the better side today, definitely deserving to win the World Cup. But if, let's start looking forward for India right now. I think we have had a fair share of, rant as well as, frustration at this game. So, I mean, there's not much more left to say apart from just feeling sad and kind of disappointed that they have not been able to pull off this
It's going to be a
victory.
bad Monday morning.
It is going to be a bad Monday for every person who's going to work tomorrow, as well as, a bad Monday for just people in general in India, right? With so much expectation. I mean, just falling that much short in terms of class to a team which had
Yes.
everything going on that day. So it's like our emotions are not showing it here, but inside we are extremely sad, and we watched the match with some of our friends as well, and it's just like it's just like we have to wait 4 more years for our chance of another 50-year World Cup. And if we start looking forward, right, as Harjot said here in terms of Rahul, Shreyas, and Kohli, and some other players, they're going to be survivors for the next World Cup. But what do you think? Like,
As I pinged you on the chat, I don't think we are coming to the next finals till 2039 maybe. I don't think so. Because like see I'll tell you that's been the thing with Indian team. हमारे पास वो ऑस्ट्रेलिया जैसा नहीं है यार कि हर जनरेशन में उनके पास यार प्लेयर पे प्लेयर आ जाता है और हर जनरेशन एवरी जनरेशन इज अ मेंटालिटी मॉन्स्टर.
Yeah.
Every generation that comes out, since '87, I would say. Before '87, also they were a decent side. They have played World Cup finals before '87 as well. I think they played the '75 or '79. One of the World Cup finals they played against the West Indies.
75 was, I think, England West Indies, right? Maybe 79 then.
'79 maybe. There was one of the finals.
Mhm.
So Australian team, they are like, they have this generation where like they they bring out players from every generation. अपने यहाँ पे लगते हैं 12-15 साल, because we have to wait for every player to peak. We have to wait for every player to peak, and then
Yeah.
once the players peak, only then we tend to have a good team that can win or at least compete for a World Cup final, compete towards
Yeah.
a World Cup final. We had that team in '83 where players were around. We were like completely underdogs, but the players peaked at the right time in the tournament, and we won the World Cup. 2003, we had the second best team, I would say, because Australia was obviously the dominant team at that time. League में भी हम लोग हारे थे 2003 में ऑस्ट्रेलिया में. We were, I think, bowled out for 125, and they chased within like 20-23 over something. I remember they chased something around that time. So 2003, they tend to have this with every generation. अपने को लगते हैं 12-15 साल एक टीम बनाने में.
Hmm. I'm just laughing at the
2011
comment.
also.
Harjot was saying, take BJP out, we will win again.
I would,
I
I
think you
agree.
said something
अरे
similar to that.
I got so frustrated. यार, we are losing the match. वो
Uh,
आके हाथ हिला रहा है. I got so frustrated. I मुझे ज्यादा rant उसके ऊपर करना है असल में, but वो मैं ट्विटर पे
uh,
करूंगा.
uh,
Uh, because I
but
mean
like,
यार,
okay,
we are
I think,
losing the team. तू आके अपना अपना इलेक्शन कैंपेन कर रहा है, हाथ हिला रहा है यार. मतलब यार,
hmm.
what sort of a
Yeah, he did not understand the
just a
situation probably at that
bloody.
time. Yeah,
अबे
I
he has
don't
not understood the country in 10 years यार. क्या सोच रहा
know.
है?
I think let's discuss that in a separate
And
topic
this is
because
coming
yeah,
as a Gujarati, so
yeah,
I'm
I
a
understand.
Gujarati, so
Just change
I'm
this.
a
India
Gujarati.
should have called it the Motera Stadium for just one game. Maybe they could have won it.
Probably 2011 repeat हो जाता.
ठीक है चलो
I think
any
we need a petition to I at least keep the original name of the stadium that was intended. It was intended to be Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Stadium. Keep
yeah
that name यार. वो हटाओ इसका नाम.
Modi ji's
यार,
name came
this
with a curse in the finals probably.
that man has been a curse for like छोड़ो यार. And another jinx I'd like to add. Every knockout game that we have lost,
Yeah,
Richard Kettleborough has been the umpire.
yeah,
I
there's
think
something
except for
about
maybe
that.
England won, I think, except for maybe that England won because he's English.
Yeah,
But every other major knockout game, important wala knockout game that we have lost, he has been the umpire. So Kettleborough को भी
is
थोड़ा
he
बोलो भाई,
like,
तू third umpire है.
is he the Anthony Taylor of football, of cricket, sorry?
No, no, he's a good umpire. He's actually very
Okay.
good.
He
He's
but
just
I
a
mean
jinx for
I
us.
don't know, it's just a jinx. Yeah, just a jinx. So
No, he's a good umpire. I have no
yeah.
problem with his umpiring per se.
I mean, he allowed
He's
Kohli
very
to
good.
get that 100 against Bangladesh. What more do you want? At least we are
Yeah.
living with Kohli winning the man of the tournament. I don't. That means nothing, but obviously he played so
I think
well.
I remember, as far as I remember, Sachin got the man of the tournament as well in
Yeah,
2003.
yeah. I think
Didn't
that's
he?
what we are good at, getting man of the tournaments while losing the finals, except for 2011, obviously.
I think Sachin, but maybe I think Shami deserved to be man of the tournament. I still believe that. I think, even though it did not mean anything, does not mean anything right now.
Yeah,
I think even for either of Kohli or Shami, it would not have meant anything to them. It would have just been like another trophy. They would keep it somewhere in the back door of their cabinet. But I still believe that this team as such, or the backroom stuff of this team, needs to be conditioned in a better manner, uh, to have this
hmm.
sort of a mentality monster attitude. Yeah,
I don't know,
because
like, how do you make that, right? Because you won the semi final, which was also a pressure game, and then you lose a final against an Australia team which just came out like with all the right tools on that day. So, in terms of making a team a mentality monster, like, I think that's a topic for another day. Maybe that needs a detailed discussion of how do you do that. How do you make a team like Australia who are mentally, such well,
see,
taught.
it's more to do with their grassroots cricket as well. Uh,
Hmm.
अपने यहाँ पे ग्रास रूट क्रिकेट में भी है ना अनिकेत, ये नहीं सिखाते
Hmm.
हाउ टू बी फियर्स इन योर गेम। यहाँ पे
Yeah.
ज्यादा फोकस होता है टेक्निक वगैरह पे। वहां पे
Huh.
टेक्निक पे, अरे वहां पे भी होता है टेक्निक पे, नो डाउट है, दोस पीपल आर टेक्निकली
Hmm.
वेल गिफ्टेड,
Correct.
but at the same time they are taught to be cunning, they
Yeah.
are taught to be ruthless, they are taught to play from ball one till the last ball.
Hmm.
यहाँ पे you
Correct.
will see the moment the things are not going for you, your shoulders will drop, your
Yeah.
your shoulders will drop, the body language becomes negative. It all comes from grassroots cricket. It all of
Hmm.
this comes from grassroots cricket because I know my cousins who are in Australia, they have their kids
Yeah.
there, and they are taught this in that way. Because it's only limited. You have to be cunning only on the ground till the time you're playing your sport.
Hmm.
Be cunning towards your opponent. कोई तुम्हारा भाई नहीं, कोई तुम्हारा दोस्त नहीं है उस टाइम पे. You are just a competitor at that time. Just be ruthless for the duration of the sport. After that, तुम्हें जो करना है करो. But duration of the sport, you have to just be cunning. You have to just come at them at every moment.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that is the thing. And I if you just notice this game, it
Hmm.
had we followed all of that pattern which was similar to the India Pakistan game. If you
Yeah.
notice that game, once the pitch got slow, the Pakistan team found it difficult to score runs.
And basically we played that role today.
Today, the same thing happened. It was all about the toss. I'll still maintain what I said at the start. We lost the game at the toss itself.
Hmm.
We should
I
have planned to, even
I
if we
mean,
won the
toss is like a
toss.
50-50 thing, right? Like it's like you either win it or you lose it. So,
No, no.
but then
Even if we
whatever
would have won the
happens, you
toss,
live with it.
no,
Huh.
we would have won the toss. We were intending to bat anyway.
Yeah, that
So
was
it
something
was
which is
going.
debatable. But then if you're sent
I
into bat, you at least take care of your wickets, don't play reckless shots, manage some wickets, and then attack later, which they did not do on in this day and in this day in this on this final day. So blaming the wicket is one thing, but obviously India's batting also failed today.
Yeah, completely. It was a failure, and that is why I think I think you would have seen many people were wanting कि यार एक मैच लीग में हार जाओ,
Hmm. Correct.
एक मैच लीग में हार
Just to
जाओ.
stay grounded.
No, I don't think this was like they had got it into their heads as such. I don't think this was an overconfidence problem. Just for that law of averages to come in. कि
Hmm.
एक मैच हार जाओ, just have one proper collapse
Yeah.
and you lose that match. Like we had a, I would not say even England was not a collapse as well because uh, England was a completely different pitch as such. It was a completely different scenario. There wasn't much threat of a due against England.
Yeah.
Here in Ahmedabad, the threat of due is as good as much as it you'd see in Wankhede.
Yeah.
So you need a big score in the first innings in order to have a good competitive chase in the second. I don't know. I need to check once what has been the chasing record in Ahmedabad in the World Cup.
Hmm.
I need to check this. Have
In
any
this World
team
Cup or
have
in just in general?
in this World Cup, and because
Oh.
this is a new stadium as such, so I
I,
think we'll
I
not have
think
much
what
data.
first game was England versus New Zealand at Ahmedabad. I think England were batting and New Zealand chased it, and then
New
India
Zealand chased it.
Pakistan. Yeah,
India
England New
chased it.
Zealand India chased it,
Uh,
and I don't know if any other game happened there.
I'll check on Cricket Plus right away.
So
I'll
yeah,
check
but
on Cricket
like
Plus.
if while you get that, I think we've summarized this
Yeah.
this
So New
loss
Zealand
pretty
won.
well.
So New Zealand won by 9 wickets in the first game, and
Yeah,
Ahmedabad.
so easy.
India won by 7 wickets, so that was a
Yeah,
chase as well. Australia, England. Australia is the only team to have bat first and won the game against England.
okay. I mean
South
England were
Africa
like
won by five
out of
wickets.
form.
Yeah, but England, I mean, it was a minnow team
Yeah,
in this World Cup.
in this World
So
Cup. Yeah.
yeah, it was a minnow team anyway. But that was still quite a close match. I think the target was huge. Actually, let me check the
Hmm.
scorecard for that.
Yeah.
Let me check the scorecard. I think Australia managed quite a lot of runs. Yeah, Australia managed 286 and England got all out for 253. So it was not
286
okay.
is
It was
still
not
okay.
high scoring. I thought it might have been
Nothing
high
high. I
scoring.
think
It
the
wasn't.
average score was like 280 or something while batting first.
I think it would be less. It was less.
Maybe like around 270, 280, but India
But
couldn't achieve the
286,
average score.
286 is a 286 कहाँ 240 कहाँ पे यार?
Ha,
286 is a
exactly. So you've
massive
lost
score.
40 runs plus whatever 40 extra just to be on the safer side. So like 80 runs you've
Yeah.
not put on the board. Okay, I think like we've
We
summarized this loss pretty well. So back to the drawing board for the team. Any last thoughts for you on how we're going to go forward? I think definitely cricket kind of takes a backseat now in terms of what obviously Rohit Kohli and all these boys won't be playing anytime soon. So where do you
I
think we
think
go forward with
Kohli will
this?
continue. I think Rohit may not be there for the next World Cup. Kohli might continue. Virat might continue. Uh, but I think we India will only be in a position to enter a World Cup final when all of our players are about to peak.
Hmm.
Otherwise, we are not in a position to get into a World Cup final.
Hmm.
That's been our thing.
Yeah.
That's always been our thing. If you check 2015, all of our players were not peaking at that point of time. We didn't get to the final. 2019 also, all of our players were not peaking.
Yeah.
We need that. We need 10 out of 11 players to peak to come into play in every given game. You can maybe have one failure as such at max. You cannot have more than one failure for any
Yeah.
game in a World Cup.
Yeah, I
Doesn't
think you
matter
made a
if it's a
good point
league
in
game.
terms of they tried to give everyone a chance in that Australia series before, and I don't know if like everyone was in form at that point, but the maybe like Hardik's injury has come back to finally haunt this team in terms of their extra batter and an extra bowler, which they did not have. So they'll get Hardik back soon, and then we'll see how that affects the team, and then going forward to the T20 World Cup next year.
I am not much hopeful towards the T20 World Cup as such. And where is it?
Yeah,
Where is the World
I,
Cup?
I think I think going forward we should just keep our
No, where is it?
expectations low in general. It's
Where
in
is the World
US.
Cup? Don't forget it, forget it, forget it,
Yeah,
forget it.
it's
US,
gonna be a bit
I
of
am
an
not even.
unknown, so who knows?
No, no, I think we have played T20s against the West Indies in the US. I think that they played the one ground in Florida, I remember.
Okay.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
flat wicket. It was a flat wicket. It's all about like bowler पिटने वाले वहाँ पे. That is what I remember from those games that we played against the West Indies in
Yeah.
Florida. So bowler पिटने वाला wicket है. Full flat highway pitch. So
Yeah. Okay.
I think what we can only expect this team to come into a final only when we see our players are peaking at that point of time or not. If our players are not peaking and yet they have been included in the squad, we are not going to the final. And that is the thing that differentiates with us from Australia. Travis Head, he came out of nowhere in the squad. He
Yeah.
started peaking at the right moment. He played very well. Maxwell wasn't doing, but जो दो तीन मैच उसका खेलना था, Maxwell is not someone who will be consistent in every match, but you
You
expect him to
expect him?
play
Yeah.
in 3 or 4 matches in 10 matches. You will expect him to come into the party. Today he came into the party with the ball with Rohit's wicket, and in some of the other matches, 200 obviously was against Afghanistan. I still believe that match changed Australian momentum completely.
Oh yeah.
When
They
you
were down
have
and out
that
in that
type of
game, and
when you have that type of a victory as well in the league stage, which is not comfortable, the mental block is completely out. You're like, अब मैं शेर हूँ, अब मेरे को जो भी आएगा मैं कर लूंगा मैनेज. That's like, but whenever you tend to have easy victories as such, then you need a uh, very strong backing from the support staff and everybody. That I don't think this team was having the success in the head. Uh, you just need that type of a support staff in the back end. There will be a time you are going to get down. We wanted to come back up from this. within the game itself.
Hmm.
But that
Yeah.
we still don't have that conditioning thing. वो स्पोर्ट्स साइंस और वो सब जो है ना इंडिया में अभी भी बहुत पीछे है.
Yep. Let's see क्या चल रहा है, क्या होता है next World Cup तक. I mean,
Next,
we'll obviously try to do more of these, previews and see where the team is in say 2 3 months time leading up to T20 World Cup. I'm not sure when exactly that next World Cup is, but
24 I think, no,
yeah,
25.
24, but like somewhere middle of the year, I guess.
I don't
So
remember. Just it might be around the US summer. Just
yeah, correct.
expected to.
So we still have like 6 to 8 months for that. So let's see what the
अरे
preparation
don't
is.
worry यार, there'll be another IPL.
IPL आएंगे जीतेंगे, they'll win bilateral series, Dream 11 trophy, whatnot.
Yeah,
But
Dream 11
when it
trophy
comes to
will
the main
happen.
tournaments, they'll obviously
अरे
choke
we
it
have a
away. So
T20 we have a T20 series against Australia.
right, 4 days we
2 weeks
have
from
that,
this
and then
World Cup.
so
यार
yeah,
क्या है मतलब यार. एक तो you
it's-
called them beforehand, you gave them enough games to warm up,
yeah.
and now you're going to play the same series against a team that is already on a high.
I don't understand that. But anyway, I think we've gone
Also,
on quite
also
a.
BCCI, loads of changes are recorded in the BCCI.
Yeah, I mean it'll be
Uh,
interesting to see also Dravid stays on as coach or he gets
Dravid
replaced.
is not going to stay. Dravid is not going to stay. I don't think Dravid is going to stay. I think we'll get VS Lakshman, because
Mhm.
that's sort of been the recent hierarchy as such with the coaches that we have. They're coaching the under 19, the NCA, the
Yeah,
India
yeah,
A, and the
and they're
under
getting
19,
promoted.
and
Mm.
then they're getting promoted. But I still believe we. I mean, this is always going to be a debatable topic, but we don't need an Indian coach.
That's
We
debatable
need another.
because.
We
Mm,
need another Gary Costin.
mm.
We need another Gary Costin,
But I think
or
that I
we
think the
need
BCCI
another.
is
I forget that
may
guy's name. And who was our coach in 2003?
John Wright.
We need another John Wright,
Mm.
or we need another Gary Costin. Uh, we need that type of a personality in the coaching staff. We had that with, I think Ravi Shastri was sort of fitting that, but वो है ना वो थोड़ा यार दोस्त टाइप वाला है.
Correct,
He,
correct,
I, he
exactly.
looks like more like that यार दोस्त वाला type. So we need that personality as well in the coaching staff. He
Yeah,
may be a
let's
coach,
hope.
he may be a team director, he can take up any position as such, but we need that type of a personality within the team.
Let's see. I think it's for
I
BCCI
don't,
to decide that.
I don't think Dravid alone or maybe VVS Lakshman would be solution to the coaching part as such. We need that, uh,
Mm.
and I don't think we. And also, I would say we don't have any good coaches right now. That's such like international level पे भी
Homegrown
देखा जाए.
coaches, you mean? Oh, homegrown coaches or international coaches?
International level पे who is there?
International pay, I agree. There's nobody there, right? That's why they're grooming homegrown coaches only. And Dravid, to be fair, has done a good job. I mean, if he had won the World Cup,
I no, I don't think Dravid has. I think Dravid's record is mixed. I am not
hmm,
going to say he has done a good job as such. His record is mixed. World Cup may fine, but yes, World Cup may I think it was fine, but like the conditions and everything uh,
yeah,
came into our aid as well. But I think Dravid's record is mixed. I am not going to be too favorable on him. And I think I mentioned you like remember when we were ranting around it on
yeah,
WhatsApp. I mentioned Dravid should be sacked because it was after the T20 World Cup that we had.
mm-hmm,
Uh, I mentioned it, but then Dravid should be sacked. He
mm,
is not that type of attacking coach. But yes, we I think he improved later on. But yes, the ultimately you have this no एक background में है कि यार वो suddenly when the things chips are down, you become more timid. Instead of
yeah,
becoming more cunning, you become more timid. You get into a shell, you become defensive.
mm,
So I think we need that sort of a personality. जो मतलब यार 2 मिनट जाके बोल दे चुपचाप उठो खेलो like I mean it's not that simple, it's not that layman, but we need that personality as well in the coaching staff, and I don't think Dravid or Lakshman suit that bill.
Yeah.
or even Anil Kumble did not shoot that well to me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You will
For
you
sure.
will win bilateral series. तुम जाके ऑस्ट्रेलिया में सीरीज जीत लोगे, तुम जाके साउथ अफ्रीका में भी जीत सकते हो, तुम जाके इंग्लैंड में भी जीत लोगे सीरीज.
I
तो
really don't
सीरीज
care about bilateral series now. I think it's all about the
I even
tournaments.
I frankly I used to care about
I
Australia के
mean they might well as well lose that 5-0 or something. I just want us to perform in this
ऑस्ट्रेलिया में
knockout.
like I used to care because we are not seen it from, right.
Yeah,
Once we have seen them win, ठीक है, I don't care now. I want World Cup.
correct.
I want a proper ICC trophy now. Now like World Test Championship, we had two chances of it, we lost both of them.
Yeah.
So
ठीक है.
uh,
I
that's
think
it.
we've gone quite long here, 45 minutes. So yeah, I think let's just end this. I think sad day again.
And I need a
So
paracetamol.
we've given our our kind of expert breakdown on the game. So guys, just like this and feel free to comment on why do you think India lost. And yeah, hopefully going forward we have some positive results, and we'll wait for the news on who's going to stay on, who's going to retire, or is there any coaching change or whatnot. So stay tuned for that. We'll try to get you those kind of news updates as and when we can. And thanks, Cable, for hopping on and helping me. Kind of talking about this depressing day. Any last thoughts?
Nothing, continue to be depressed. United भी है साथ में.
Yeah, other teams as well. So thanks again, and
2013 से डिप्रेशन चल रहा है.
अभी तक
ये
बंद नहीं
खत्म
हुआ
नहीं
है.
हो रहा, नहीं होने वाला. और ये बहुत दोनों दोनों साइड पे बोल रहा हूँ, वेदर इट्स यूनाइटेड वेदर इट्स हियर, दोनों साइड पे जल्दी नहीं खत्म हो रहा. एंड आई थिंक एंड इट वुड बी एन इंटरेस्टिंग चैलेंज टू सी कहाँ कौन पहले खत्म करेगा, because I don't see any of them finishing it or getting that peak stage soon. I don't see that happening
Yeah.
soon for either of the team. I don't see it happening in cricket. I don't see it happening for United.
Let's hope. Okay, guys. Till the next stream. Good night and stay safe.
Good night.